Okay, let me just say the thing nobody says at the start of these videos. You've probably already watched 3 videos about flow state, maybe highlighted something in a book, and then never opened it again. And yet here you are, still not in flow, still sitting at your desk like you're waiting for a bus that might not even be running today. So either the advice is wrong or something else is going on. We'll come back to that. Here's what everyone tells you. Challenge meets skill, perfectly balanced, Goldilocks zone, boom flow. And look, that's not wrong. But if it were that simple, you'd just calibrate your tasks and enter flow like clockwork. But that's not what happens, is it? What actually happens is you have the time, the coffee, the playlist, and nothing. You're just there, clicking around, suddenly very interested in how staplers are manufactured because you're procrastinating. Here's what's actually happening. Flow requires your brain to drop its threat monitoring. Your prefrontal cortex, the part that worries, self-monitors, second guesses, has to quiet down enough for the rest of your brain to run without interference. Neuroscientists call this transient hypofrontality. It sounds like a disease. It's actually the opposite. It's your brain getting out of its own way. So the real question is, why is your brain in threat mode in the first place? That's the thing, right there. Hold that. Practical triggers fast because you clicked for these. Clear goals, not work on the project. Your brain needs to know what done looks like for the next hour. One thing, concrete, finite, ambiguity creates low-grade threat. Clarity tells your brain it's safe to focus. Immediate feedback. Flow loves feedback loops. Every small signal you're moving, a sentence that clicks, a line of code that works, that's fuel. No natural feedback, engineer it. Micro checkpoints. Read your work aloud. Whatever gives you a signal. The challenge skills sweet spot. But here's the nuance they skip. It's not static, it moves. Bored? Increase complexity. Anxious? Narrow the scope. Both kill flow. Just from opposite ends. You can implement all of that today, but if that's all you take from this, you'll still get stuck because we haven't talked about the actual thing yet. When you sit down to do work that matters, creative work, anything with your name on it, there's a quiet background process running. And it's asking, what if I try my best and it's still not good enough? Not loudly, it just floods you with restless, uncomfortable energy that you interpret as distraction, the sudden need to check your email one more time. This is the real procrastination, not laziness. Fear wearing productivity's face. And here's the brutal irony: flow requires full commitment. It cannot happen if you're holding part of yourself back. And you will hold back if trying hard and failing feels worse than not really trying at all. Half trying gives you an escape hatch. I could have done better if I'd really gone for it. Flow removes that escape hatch. Flow is all in. All in is terrifying if you're not sure you're enough. This is why some people flow easily through video games but freeze on their actual work. Video games don't threaten your identity. Your creative project does. So what do you actually do with that? Short answer: lower the stakes of this session. You're not writing the final version. You're not proving anything. You're just playing with the problem. People who approach tasks with curiosity, I wonder what happens if I try this, enter flow faster than people in performance mode. Same task, completely different brain. But the deeper answer is this: how often you access flow is directly tied to how much your self-worth is tangled up in your output. If every work session is secretly an evaluation of whether you're good enough, your nervous system treats it like a threat, and threats block flow completely. The people who seem to just get into flow, they're not more disciplined. They've decoupled their worth from their output enough that work feels closer to play than to a test. That's not a morning routine fix. That's built slowly, by doing the work repeatedly, by surviving the bad sessions, by accumulating evidence that failure doesn't actually destroy you. Here's the whole thing compressed. Flow isn't a switch, but it's not random either. Clear goal, tight feedback loop, right difficulty, and an internal environment where you feel safe enough to fully commit. That last one is doing the most work and getting the least attention in every video about this topic. The version of you that accesses flow most reliably hasn't optimized their setup. They've just stopped treating every session as a verdict on their worth. They sit down, they start. They let it be imperfect. And sometimes, not always, not on command, it clicks. The work takes over. Time disappears. That's it. Not a hack. Just a person who stopped being at war with the act of working. You already knew the surface level stuff wasn't enough. That's why you're here. Now you know what's underneath it.